Uh, what up, y'all? We at the Imposter Syndrome podcast. We got my boy.
It's your boy Rich Banks. You already know Imposter Syndrome podcast, wedding edition, baby. We're here.
We got the bride, Valentina Jones here.
Hi.
And we got my boy Zaire on the show.
Straight out of Brooklyn. I'm doing good.
So Zaire, we got a question for you. We had a wedding. So let me ask you, are weddings necessary?
Absolutely. Yeah, celebration is necessary. It brings us together.
Yeah.
Also.
Everybody needs to dance once in a while. We need to see some love, you know. Yeah, and a little drink, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I agree. I think weddings are awesome. This is actually my first wedding, which is mine's. Yeah. But yes, weddings are awesome. What do you think about?
Definitely. I believe in love, so no. I always think it's great to celebrate love, especially when it brings a lot of people together, especially now where everybody be so far apart and everyone coming together for one occasion is like it's a real beautiful thing. And I know that sounds cliche, but it legit is like one of the best feelings.
My man, Rich Banks, what do you think about weddings? Are they necessary?
And your boy, the devil's advocate. No, they're absolutely not necessary. And the reason why is because you don't need to put the theatrics, put on a show for everybody just to display your love. Back in the day, they didn't even give rings. I give a bitch an apple. You want to be my wife? Yes. And that's it. We happy forever. And also, I have a wedding, but I'm married. So, I'm salty.
Fair enough.
He's got a point. I'm not going to hold you. He's got a point. I changed my answer. He's right. I still love weddings, though, but it's not necessary. But,
Right.
That feels good.
It's not necessary. You can only celebrate your love however you want to celebrate it. But having a wedding it just brings everyone together. It's like, for me, weddings is mainly for people who are like I said, far apart from each other. Let's get together, celebrate, and, do something beautiful. So
I will say this, though. I think that, weddings are a beautiful, symbolism of unity. Two people coming together, two families coming together. Beautiful thing. But you don't need the theatrics to make it any more meaningful than it actually already is. Marriage in itself is a sacred bond. You don't need the party. But I'm not mad at it, because we drinking, we chilling, and Mrs. Jones. We're here, baby.
You guys heard it right here at the Imposter Syndrome podcast wedding edition. Weddings are necessary, but they're also unnecessary. Love is love, and no matter what, if you love your person, you can do whatever you like. You can celebrate. You can do something in private. It doesn't matter. It's your boy Quay Jones. We got more coming from the wedding. But Zaire, thank you for being a part of our podcast. We really appreciate you.
Honored. Thank you so much.
Bye. Imposter Syndrome podcast. I'll catch y'all with the next person.
What I need to do is get I need a monitor. Oh wait, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I need a monitor for that camera, that way I can see.
You can't plug that camera into the screen over here somehow?
Nah, so this camera takes a specific input that I have no wires for or nothing else for. The only thing I have is
But can you get wires for it?
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, I just haven't done it or whatever. It's like having all HDMI wires and then all of a sudden you need some whole other thing that you don't have. Meanwhile, you got a million HDMI.
Yeah.
So it's I don't have any of the, I forgot what it's like DCI or some shit like that. I don't have any of those cables. So literally I cannot plug any of my other equipment into this camera. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean.
Nevertheless, we on the Imposter Syndrome podcast.
You did.
And yeah, this is the wedding edition. We had
wedding episode?
On November 4th.
Let's get a round of applause for Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Beautiful thing. We had a great time.
It was a great time. Me and Val got married after 15 years of a long-lasting relationship and friendship. It was
Beautiful
really
thing.
cool.
Yeah, it was. It was cool.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Monumentous, some would say.
Yeah, definitely. I cried.
Yeah, yeah. I was there. I seen it.
Yeah.
I cried.
It's
Shit, I
funny.
cried.
I was gonna say, were you crying?
I cried. Shit, I cried. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I cried when we got to the venue and Desiree was like fluffing my veil and they had the doors in front of me shut, and then I hear Roman Reigns tribal chief music going, and I'm standing there, and I'm just like listening to it, and then I said to myself like, "Quay is so cute," and then that's when I started crying.
Instant, right? Instant fucking waterworks.
And then when we got inside, I got in front of the curtain before Tina opened them, and she goes to me, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "No." And then but then I was like, "Okay, don't cry. This is
Keep it
all."
together. Keep it together.
Right.
Keep it
I was
together.
like, at least to get to the altar, try not to cry. Literally, I came in, locked eyes with Quay, and I just started crying. I know there's an ugly cry face in those pictures.
I mean,
100,000%.
I'm pretty sure that everything looked fine. Because actually, I didn't notice you crying until you started reading your vows. When you started reading your vows, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody told you, but they were phenomenal.
Thank you.
They really were. It was very well thought out. It was, and it was deep.
I actually had like a lot of people say like, "Oh wow, like the vows were like really good." Some of the older people, they were like, I don't know what you were saying, but like it sounded like you was cooking. So like,
basically, yeah.
But I wanted it to be like
I was pretty close, so I got a nice like here.
Yeah, he was right there.
Yeah, I had a nice earful of it. So
I wanted it to be tailored to me and to us or whatever. Like I wanted it to be something that like, oh yeah, Quay would definitely say something like that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
and I feel like that's
pretty much what happened. As soon as the words were coming out your mouth, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
my boy's talking about the cosmos. I mean, you did say something beautiful as well, but his thing was just it was just a little it was just well thought out.
As much as people liked mine, I was like really impressed with Valentina's vows because they were off the top of the head. Like, she didn't really.
It's hard in the moment and when you're on the spot. 100%. I felt that's what I'm saying. Yours were thoughtful too. Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't. Like when I thought about the vows, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I could just go off the top of my head. But then I was like, nah. I'm like, I don't think I would be able to like express myself well enough, just like in the moment. Like it was something that I had to like think about more than I had to like just kind of like ad lib. So like I really wanted to think about it. But again, when she had no preparation for hers and just kind of said it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was.
Honestly, everyone told me that they liked it, and I was like, I was trying not to be all over the place.
No, you weren't.
I can talk like I can go from here to there, start telling a whole story.
Yeah.
I was like, no, stay focused. But I did think they were too short. So I'm not sure if that was a good or bad thing.
No, I think short, sweet, and to the point is always a good thing.
And I thought going like off the top of my head. Well, first off, number one, because I like been thinking about them since forever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And second, it was if I wrote something, it would have ended up being a novel. And anyone who knows me knows that I would have just kept adding stuff or changing stuff or doing something.
Yeah.
It would have been
You'd have been doing it up to the last day.
Right. And then the stress of the wedding planning itself, thinking about the timelines, paying for everything, all of that, and then like thinking, oh yeah, you also got to write your vows. Yeah.
It adds another little layer of stress, unneeded stress. Especially like you said, you already know what you want to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you said, from day one, you've already known like.
And I always knew how I was going to start it, and I always knew how I was going to end it. Because how I started it was exactly what I said. Oh, I didn't write anything because I think I had these written down since I've met you. And then when I ended it, I knew I was going to always end it with, we're this love story that made it. So.
This, like I said, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Both of you guys.
It was.
And I
it
think
was
that's
cool.
what helped,
Yeah.
knowing that I had him beginning.
A lot of people like asked me before the wedding, like, "Oh, like, are you gonna cry?" And I was just like, I was a little confused by it, but then I was like, "Oh, people do like cry, like when they get married." But like at no point was I was like going to cry. I think I was so excited, honestly, about like the whole thing. Like people kept asking me like, "Oh, are you nervous?" This and that. Like even you asked me like a couple times. And I was just like, "Nah, yeah, like I'm fine. Like I'm ready to do it." Like like that morning felt like the morning of the wedding felt so long.
Yeah.
It felt so long, especially because we were idle for like a decent amount of time.
We were dressed
Dumb early.
very, very early.
But me and you were talking about it beforehand, like, yo, we ready to the night before we were like, yeah, we're ready to get dressed right now.
I was shower right now, get dressed. Like I'm ready.
Right.
Wake up and be in your suit.
Yeah, wake up, just like, y'all ready?
Yeah. Like I woke up and I was like, all right, it's go time to get dressed. Like I was dressed and ready like immediately. So we had like a good like 2-3 hours where we were just like kind of chilling before we actually went to the venue. And like, yeah, I was really excited the entire time. I didn't cry, but one thing I can say is that when Val came out, I literally don't remember a single face after that moment. Like I only remember her after, like, once she came through the curtain. It's the only thing in my mind that I can literally like think of. Everything else was just like
a blur,
complete blur. Like, and even when I came out, honestly, it was like Leo recorded the entire entrance. I do not remember seeing him at all. At all. You were there, so I don't know. Like, did you see him? Because I have the footage. I know he recorded it.
Thinking about it, like, no. But I think we were so in the moment,
Right.
like it was, all right, showtime, boys. Like everybody had their place to be. Like, we were all trying to like focus and listen to the music and kind of be like still smiling and not looking like
too tough.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we're fucking not like we don't want to be here. We got to look, happy. You can't look like. But the music also, like it was just. There was a lot, like there was just too much going on.
There was
a lot going on for me to like worry about if he was there. I knew he was there because I knew that's what we discussed.
Yeah,
like,
I know he was there because I had just finished telling him to go through the curtain. I'm like, yo, we about to come out. Go through, get ready. You can start recording. Like any moment we gonna come out. But then once we walked through the curtain, I have no recollection of Leo whatsoever.
And I was behind you, and you're like a tree, and Ant's like a tree. You know what I'm saying? I had a little view because Todd Lay good looking for him. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I didn't see me. You know what I'm saying? In the video, you know what I'm saying? Barely. So
yeah, like,
I'm assuming I didn't get to see. You know what I'm saying? Leo.
Yeah, it was like I said, like you said, it was a blur, and I was really happy that like the entrance, like the music and everything, it was like very unique to me and like to my friend group, and it was just unique in general. I'm not sure how many grooms in the history of weddings have came out to a pro wrestling entrance theme song.
It's funny you say that because I think it was Marquise, if I'm not mistaken, because it was when we went to Forest Hills Park, and Marquise and I were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, Quay's gonna come out to Roman Reigns' Tribal Chief music. And he looked at me, he goes, and you're allowing that? And I was like, I mean, it's his entrance. I'm like, I don't.
It's his wedding too.
Right? Like, I'm not.
Both y'all get married.
I'm like, if we was both walking out together, then it would probably be a different story.
Yeah.
But even for the reception, I didn't really mind it neither, because we're both wrestling fans, and it was perfect because
wrestling fans.
100%.
And honestly, that was like the one thing I wanted, like specifically out of the whole wedding. Like it was like whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Like,
I
you
just
could
want to
choose
come
the
out
colors,
to Roman Reigns theme
you could
song.
choose the food.
That's it. Like
You could choose the venue.
like, whatever.
You could even choose my suit.
Right.
But I'm coming out the Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
The tribal chief.
I'm coming out to the tribal chief music.
It was
like,
awesome. And my as soon as he gave it to me,
and with the praying
with the
hands.
praying hand, I was weak.
Yeah,
I was
it
weak.
was-
He was just sitting there like this.
Yeah, and it's funny. Anthony called me a couple times before the wedding, and he was saying that one of his friends who got married, he was telling her like my plans for my entrance, and she just like did not believe it at all. So like he called me with her like they're like, yo, like what you doing for your wedding? How you coming out? And I told her, and she's like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, bruh.
Why not?
Like why? That's exactly what I said. I said why not? Like you know what I'm saying? Like this
The
is
bride
what,
is allowing.
Like,
right. That's what she said.
if
She's
my
like,
soon-to-be
she's-
wife don't mind, none of y'all should.
Right.
You know what
She's
I
just like,
mean?
oh, she's just like, your wife is allowing this. I'm like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is the one thing. It's the one thing that I want to do. So like, you know, and like you said, it was awesome. It was awesome to like again come out to the music, to hear the music go off, and then to also see the video of like
Of the people's
reaction.
faces. Yo, I was thinking that too just now, I swear. Because who showed us
Dom
the video?
had the video.
It was Dom. Yeah.
off his phone.
Shout out Dom. It was hilarious because you see, like, I think probably one of your aunts or something. I don't know, somebody in the back, and the music comes. Like, what? Where she look? Yeah. Oh no. She just kept making a video. I was like, oh my God,
Right.
hilarious.
The
They
only
didn't know
people-
what was going on.
The only people who expected it were the people at the dinner party because we rehearsed it at the
Yeah,
rehearsal
yes,
dinner.
yes,
So
yes.
like those people,
Right, like Denise.
yeah, like
I
Denise,
feel-
she knew a lot of people knew
Diane.
where we were going.
I feel like some people thought like, yo, is this what they supposed to be? You know, is this supposed to be happening? Or did the
Right.
the DJ, you know, fuck this up real quick? Because they looking like, sound like no wedding entrance.
Right. Yeah, it was.
It was great, though. It was awesome.
great. And again, they hear that Val was like when she heard the music, that like she started crying or whatever. That also like put the cherry on top.
Yeah,
of like, oh yeah, like I made the right choice by like
He laughed when I told him.
coming
Like,
out to this.
because for him it's like, yeah, we got him,
Exactly.
chief.
We
We
got
got him.
He's like, he started laughing. He goes, "You cried to the tribal chief." music." And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And honestly,
That's
I
like
feel
Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman
every
would
time
cry
I
to the
hear
tribal
it,
chief music.
every time I hear it and I watch, I bet you I'm gonna tear up because I'm just gonna imagine
That's that's
And
that's my theme song.
she gonna be at the events.
crying. Like
The things will come. They're gonna be like, damn, that girl really is a Roman Reigns fan. Like, damn,
not that
she's
serious.
like, you know what I'm saying? God,
Yeah.
like, yo, relax. It's
I
just
wanted,
Roman.
I wanted kind of. I mean, obviously, like it wouldn't be like the same reaction, but like us, like I don't know if you've ever been there in an arena, like when Roman Reigns actually like enters.
Oh yeah.
With his like new theme and everything, and like it's like literally the whole like atmosphere instantly changes. The moment the music starts, it's like, oh shit, business just picked up. You know what I mean? And I felt like that like at the wedding. Once that music hit, it was like, all right, bet. It's time.
Showtime.
It's
You know what I
time.
mean?
Yeah,
Showtime.
it's
We
time.
walked to the
Showtime. Yep.
And
I
then
was
my
just like, oh,
song,
yeah.
complete opposite.
Complete
aesthetics.
opposite.
Oh my God, night and day. It's like burger, and
Right.
love. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up night and day.
But James, the DJ, I worked with him to, kind of make it like, a nice transition,
As seamless as
between the
possible.
two, as seamless as possible, like just to give him a heads up of like everything that was going on. And, James was awesome as a DJ. Like he was really, really great. And we found him, it wasn't the last minute, but it was kind of last
Found him
minute.
at the end of the summer.
Yeah, we were struggling to find a DJ. And
We
then we
both
found
emailed him at the same time. Quay was talking to him, and he ended up asking Quay, "What's your fiance's name, by the way?" And it was me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I just wanted to see, like, because I just got emails from, like, two people at the same time, kind of. So,
With
like,
the same days.
the same day,
like, yo, in the same place.
And exactly, that's what he said, too. Like,
Yo,
yeah, it's
I
also
might
the
be able
same
to pull
place.
this off. Might be able to pull this off. Yo, can y'all do another date? I'm gonna be in Aurora that week.
Right. Yeah. So it was a hella dope experience. Like if I say so myself, like it was really cool to have like all of our friends together.
Yeah.
Like at once. That was like one of the best parts
Shout
about
out
the
to
wedding.
my Secret Service.
Oh yeah, Secret Service. They had Dom, Leo, and Andres. They took her to the salon in the morning.
And I was sitting in the front.
Yeah,
They were the Secret Service.
They did like a little skit where they were like her Secret Service because they all look like
They did though. They all did come like very very dapper.
Yeah.
But they
Yes.
looked like they were on some CIA.
Yeah, yeah. And Dom just naturally gives that vibe automatically. Like even at work, we call him like the hitman because he come in his all black suit with his black gloves or whatever. You know, Dom got like a somewhat stoic face unless you actually talk to him.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, man's the hitman. He definitely embodied that during the wedding.
Yeah, it was super cool. It was funny.
That's awesome.
Because they definitely stayed with me at the salon. Leo was getting pictures and video of me getting my makeup done. And yeah, they were definitely troopers for that.
Facts.
Because it was...
They did do a lot. Shout out Andres. Andres drove a lot.
Yeah, you know, and like these are guys who were not in the actual wedding.
Right.
Like, you know,
They
you
held
would
us
think that they
down.
were
Yeah,
in the wedding.
you would think they were in the
know,
party.
With how much they were, you know, contributing to like making sure everything was okay. Like they didn't, like they came as guests, but they also came with the intentions to help as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm pretty sure if you would have had more groomsmen, they would have made the cut.
100%. Yeah. Like, you know, if they were like, if I would have added more groomsmen, the three of them would have definitely been the additions. Like 100%.
1,000,000%. Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
So yeah, they looked out for sure. Like they came through. They, like you said, they drove. They helped plan stuff. Anything I absolutely needed was like, oh, I got you.
Drove us to the airport. Let us crash. Let us crash that last night to go to the airport.
Right.
Like, which was solid.
Yeah,
They was
well,
gonna
y'all
let-
crashed. I just
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went to
I
sleep.
just pushed through the whole shit. I was like, nah, I had the intentions the whole time. Like once I changed my flight, I knew I was not going to sleep that night at all. I was like, yeah, I'm just stay up, sober.
Yeah.
I don't have that willpower.
Yeah, I was ready to knock out. Like, fuck it.
I wanted
trying
to
to
experience
get an
as little as possible of the actual plane ride. So that's why I was like, nah, I'm going to just stay up. And then when I get home, I'm going to just sleep. And I basically slept 2 days after that.
Right.
Like I slept that day and the next day the whole time. I just had to
Catch
sleep.
up.
It was slow. Yeah. It was,
We did need to catch up. There was definitely a sleep deficit. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Friday night was the dinner rehearsal, but then we still hung out.
Yeah.
Because that's when Desiree and Quay and them came.
Yeah. And then even when we went back to the crib,
We
me
still
and Rich
hung
didn't go
out.
to sleep till like 2:30 type shit.
Yeah, we didn't
2
go to sleep
o'clock.
at least 2.
Yeah, I left you guys at 12:30.
We started winding down at like 2
yeah.
to try to like, all right, let's go like boom. But I feel like we were just all on a high. Like
Oh yeah.
it's
we had
hard.
just
It was
did the
hard
dinner
to do
rehearsal.
anything. And then let's just side note. All right, wedding stars were
Oh yeah.
starring.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
the whole weekend.
The whole weekend. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was clear.
And it's-
Like you go outside, like
And how fitting our cake topper was moon and
Was- yeah.
was a moon and stars.
Oh yeah.
it was phenomenal. The stars out there. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
yeah. I
Like, it
mean-
was crazy.
You go to like a wilderness type of place like North Carolina where there's not a lot of light pollution.
Well, small,
The small towns.
Small towns, yeah. Let's be
New
real,
Bern and
because
Aurora.
yeah.
So
Like
if you go to Charlotte, I'm pretty sure the stars are not as
no.
extravagant.
I mean,
as they
I'm
were.
sure they're nice, but because
Yeah.
they don't have like nearly as much light pollution as like New York
City.
or
Right.
Jersey or like a big place like that, but nothing like probably New Bern or
Yeah.
Aurora. There was just no lights.
No
like,
light
there's just-
whatsoever.
at all.
Yeah.
None
You know what I'm saying?
whatsoever.
Like you just go outside and it's just the stars are crazy. I can't.
One of the best parts of the whole weekend, Rich traveling into the darkness when we
I
outside.
was just thinking
smoking.
that.
The wilderness
We
must be
chilling
explored.
I was
outside.
thinking, I was like, when this guy got.
Yeah, we couldn't like smoke or nothing inside of the Airbnb, so we would just go outside, you know, have a cigarette, smoke a joint, whatever the case. And it was like late at night, and my man Rich, he's like, "Yeah, I'm walking into the darkness." It's just pitch black road. Like there's like
Literally
a little bit
pitch
of
black.
light, and then like you can literally see the cutoff of where the darkness is when you just walk in.
where you just
Dom and
lose,
Leo.
where you just lose,
Completely,
like
lose
sight of
oh,
anything or anybody. Like there was a point where, like he said, I went into the darkness, and when I turned around, I knew y'all were there because I heard y'all, but y'all weren't there in my sight. There
I
was
didn't
just
see you either.
there was just nothing. I was just like, oh, it's dark like that, and then I heard them coming closer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's when Leo was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in there," because we couldn't see you all of a sudden.
Mind you, there's bears. There's also bobcats,
There's bobcats, foxes, snakes,
spiders the size of your
spiders,
hand.
all types of animals out there. Some that are
Foxes,
harmless.
Apparently
you said foxes?
ostrich.
Yeah. Ostrich, no,
No,
emus. Emus. There was emus.
Oh, those are emus.
Yeah, emus.
There were emus, yep.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
there's all types of stuff over there. So Leo, being a brave man that he is, I guess.
Shout out to
The
Leo.
W man's Leo.
Big W, man, because I could have died out there, I'm not gonna lie.
Then Dom followed.
Yeah.
And then Andres was still standing there really thinking about it. He goes, man, F it.
Yeah,
And then
fuck.
he starts going.
All went into the darkness.
But then they get to me, and all I hear is, oh, 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 oh. Like, oh, nah. First of all, you can't even see anybody, really. Like,
See anything.
especially when you're in that darkness where there's actually no light pole or
Right.
anything.
Nothing.
You don't see it. You just hear it, or you just hear all of us like, oh, nah, fuck that. Nah, run. And then Leo's like, no, don't run. But we out. I'm gone. I'm not. No, that it sounded way too close.
It
was way
was.
too close for comfort.
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
sounded
like
really
you heard
loud.
it in the distance. It was
Right.
like maybe like 500-600 feet away from us. Like it was there. It was
Right.
like there was something way too close, and there's no fencing. It's just woods.
Yeah, open. Yeah.
So
it could be coming
Right.
from any
God
direction.
bless. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
you have no
Yeah,
idea.
you don't even know. You know, it's like when you hear a helicopter and you looking this way to the right, but it's really like coming from
Coming
the
from-
left
yeah.
because you don't really hear that. That echo is misleading.
Crazy.
It's bouncing off of shit and then coming back to you in all sorts of ways. I don't know where that shit come from. That shit might have been closer than I think
Right.
it was.
Could have been that on the other, remember that where we used to turn? It
Yes.
could have, for all we
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it was
it
down
could've
For
there.
all
been
we
over
knew,
there.
it could have
It
been
could
over
have been
there.
over there. Yeah. And then y'all would have ran into it.
Right.
Y'all would have ran into it.
And I can tell you when we were standing
That place
there,
was awesome and scary all at the same time.
when we were standing there, when we heard that sound, I looked at Quay. I said, "Did you hear that?"
Bro, me, her, and Bailey looked at each other all at the same time.
Bailey was like,
Right. Bailey was
what?
like, "Father."
like, yo, we should go inside.
and then all I see
Is us running?
is y'all running. And I don't even see, only reason why I see y'all running is because I don't know who it was.
So it
Somebody
had
had a little flashlight on their
Like-
phone on. And all I see is the light moving up and down, coming closer.
You know that was probably Andres because my phone didn't work. My phone still don't work. My phone need to be on the charger for it to even work.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was Andres because me and Andres was running next to each other because Dom W Mans had went back for Leo because Leo was like, yo, don't run, don't run. Like, oh nah. So he went back W Mans for that.
Damn. So
Me, I
Dom
was
went
gone.
back. So in a scary movie, Dom is gonna be the one who's gonna risk his life to go
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Oh,
nah,
yeah, Dom is-
And then
Yeah.
he'll
he
end
was
up
a W
dying,
man
and
for
Leo
that.
end up surviving because of Dom.
Dom is
Damn.
that character in a scary movie that you love so much, or any movie that you love so much, but that's the one that's gonna die because
Right.
he's trying to save
He's trying
somebody.
to save
Right.
somebody. And you're like, why wasn't he rich? He's selfish. And I'm like, nah, because I heard that and I was out. I'm like, but Don ran back. Don makes choices. He made his choice. God damn it.
man.
You know what I mean? Like,
But the stars from where we were at compared to Aurora, night and day.
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
even we had, I mean, it's crazy to say light pollution because no, but we had more light pollution
Yeah.
just because the houses, I feel like, were a little closer together.
Not only that, but the
And they had more
city
poles.
town of New Bern was also a little bit closer, so that light projects and it affects your view of whatever else you can see. The highway was also at the end of our block, and there was lights over there,
That's
even though
true.
it was still
But
kinda
that's not
dark.
listen. That's not to discredit the
How
the
dark
star,
it was and how nice
how
it was.
beautiful
The stars were
the
over
stars were,
there. Yeah, but like Val said, in comparison to where my grandmother lives, 30 minutes away in Aurora, it's, almost like night and day. The stars were like popping in her backyard because there's just literally no light whatsoever. There's nothing.
And for reference, I didn't just go into the woods because
Right.
You just walk down the road.
But I walked down the road because it was way darker there, and you could just see the stars better because you didn't have like the little reflection of the light in your peripheral. Like when you went there, it was complete darkness. Like it's like if you shut off a light in your bedroom, and there's no TV on, no like nothing.
It takes
just
a second for
dark.
your eyes. Did your eyes adjust?
They do a little bit, but not like
like you could see.
Like you could see, yeah. They adjust to like I said, as they got closer to me, I could see them. If they were right next to me, I could see them. But like if Leo was right here and Dom was like 4 feet behind him, I didn't really see Dom. You know what I'm saying? Like Dom would have been in the shadows, or like Andres would have been in the shadows. But like I hear them, I know they're there.
Yeah.
It was just dark. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I know. We witnessed it from the light.
Oh yeah, I mean you guys, smart guys that sit in the light. But also it was an awesome experience. Like I think it's good to feel that little bit of fear sometimes, like actual genuine fear, like oh shit, like what the fuck.
Did I tell you when I was walking Bailey? I think it was the first morning that we were there, so it was Thursday morning, and I went to go walk Bailey, and I remember coming back home to Quay, and I was like, yeah, I would have walked her more, but something was moving in the bushes, couldn't really tell what it was. Bailey stopped, was examining. I told her, no, let's go home. I was like, next thing you know, headline news, bride-to-be gets mauled by bear 3 days before her wedding.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's the place it happens.
I was exactly.
Right.
I was like, they're gonna emphasize the fact that, oh yeah, where were they from? New York City.
Yeah.
Rich did the same thing one night. He went outside. He's like, "Yo, you gonna come with me and smoke a cigarette?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good, whatever." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna go by myself. Fuck out of here." He go outside. He literally came back 2 minutes later. I'm like, "Bro, that was quick." He was like, "Yeah, nah, it's just way too dark out there by myself." I'm like,
But there's a point where 8, 9, 10 o'clock, the moon is still visible, so you get a little bit of light. 12, 1 o'clock at night, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. Like, it's actually darker.
Right.
And it's scary. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you really don't, like, you can't see 10 feet ahead of you. So, you don't know what's there.
Right.
And things in the woods, they're adapted to seeing at night. I'm not.
Yeah.
I need a flashlight. My phone don't work.
And again, you talking about a place where some animals are just at nighttime, they just outside.
Yeah.
Like when we were driving, all those deer that we see.
Oh my God,
walking in
so
people's
many
yards,
deer
on the side of the
And
street,
you
in
don't see
people's
them.
yards, or crossing the street, and like
I was nervous we were going to hit them on the road because there were just
they're
so
everywhere.
many.
They're everywhere.
And like, you can tell that the people down there are lax because when we're driving, we're kind of, pretty much slow and at night, and we're, very wary of what's going on. These people are flying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, if they hit a deer, like, they're not worried. They're like, we got food for the next month and a half.
No, that's all day, every day, bro. They doing 70 down the road always, bro. They just out, everybody. And what's scary, like my grandmother, she don't drive. And what has prevented her from learning how to drive is living down there because PCS,
The company.
the company,
Mining company.
yeah, the mining company down there, they be having like, you didn't see much of them when we were down there, maybe just like not the season or whatever the case, but like they have like these really big trucks that are moving material and stuff or here or there, whatever, and they be doing 70 down them streets, flying, you know what I mean? So she's like, I'm not driving on this road with these fucking gigantic trucks doing 70 miles per hour, like hell no.
Man.
You know, and that's just how everybody drives down there. Like
That's
they
how
drive far.
that's how the Final Destination shit happened.
Right.
They're like, yeah, no, they were moving thousands of pounds of phosphates down the road, and Little Miss somebody was driving her car, and that thing just unloaded on her. Yeah, no, you're not getting me like that. Or yeah, he hit some oil, boom, crash, kill people.
Most people down there, they driving fast. Like even driving with Mr. Big Shot, every time I ride with him, he always passing somebody.
Right.
Somebody always. Like if you
How many people passed us?
Nobody. And that's the thing. Well, we was driving with Andres and whatnot, because again, he's driving slower because he's, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm in the car with Mr. Big Shot, almost nobody passing him because he's doing 70 already.
Yeah.
Like you got no reason to go around.
But
him.
I'm saying there were people who passed us, and when we were on drugs. Oh, were you not with me?
No, it was probably when y'all went to Walmart.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
like
so.
they were
Yeah.
caught like passing. I'm like,
it
yo,
was a
what?
truck too. Remember, it was mad.
The white
dark.
truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was mad
Oh yeah,
dark.
it was us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought you were there. Yeah, but it was me. Yeah, it was me. Val.
And we were like,
I'm
whatever,
like, yo,
let him
what
go.
the fuck? I'm like, yo, just let him go, cause they ain't jeepers creepering me out here.
Yeah,
You know what
bro,
I'm saying? He want to wear my face to his birthday
they don't care
party.
what time it is, they still flying. And like you said, they can hit anything. You know what I'm saying? Driving down the road, like, you know, roadkill happens a lot down there because, you know, it's dark.
We
You
saw
can't
it
I don't
too.
want to be roadkill. Also, that's the type of place where, like, if you get into, like, some type of road rage with somebody, it's just y'all on the road. They might kill you, leave you in a ditch somewhere, because there are actually ditches down there, and that's the crazy
true.
part. So if you crash into a ditch. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're there, and it's like in the movies when they crash and like, man, the car smoking, it's on fire. Nobody's around, and nobody's going to be around because nobody turns down this road only but one time a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So by the time anybody gets to you, even realizes that you're being barbecued in your car, one, you're in heaven,
Right. You're gone.
and two,
That's a good question now that you said that, though. Like, I wonder how, depending on where you are, like in any given place, how long is it going to take for assistance to get to you? You know what I mean?
Depends.
Like, if you buy my grandmother, it's probably going to come fairly quickly just because she's kind of close to an actual town where they got, like, the fire rescue people or whatever.
The volunteer we
yeah,
seen
the
it by,
volunteer people, like I
yeah.
said, they on call. So they're gonna call somebody at their house, whoever got the truck or whatever, the ambulance.
But
and then
God
they gonna
forbid,
come.
but God forbid, if two things happen at one time, there's not enough resources.
Right.
I'm telling you that.
And then if you're in like somewhere towards the middle, like then how long is that gonna take? Like if you were in between Aurora and New Bern and you get into a car accident out there, how long is it gonna take for somebody to get to you from either
30
point?
minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
Right? You know,
Right,
like,
because New Bern to Aurora is 30
it's
minutes.
30 minutes. So, if you in between,
Halfway,
there ain't
at
nothing
least,
in between that.
at least 15, and there's nothing. We're talking about nothing. We're
Right,
not.
nothing
We're
in
not like
between it.
exaggerating. There's nothing there,
It's just houses. That's it.
and
And
a lot of the houses I don't even know if people live in because there was woods
Yeah, but
taking over
there's
a lot of
houses
them.
that are abandoned where just
A
nobody
lot of
lives there.
abandoned houses. You can tell though. You can clearly see visually like this. There's nobody here, and they haven't been here in 20 years.
Right.
And I guess your best hope is kind of the people that are living on that road. Like when Tale and JT got into that car accident at Christmas, they were the first. Everybody who lived on that road was the first responders. Me, the guy who lived across the house, across the road, and the other guy who lived down the block. We were the first people there pulling people out of cars.
You know what's crazy? How long ago was that? Like 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
Which is crazy. You called me when that happened. You remember me and you were talking. It's crazy how time flies. But now since I've been there, now I could visualize it more.
Yeah.
Because I remember you did you say you almost rolled into the ditch?
No, the car that hit JT's car went into the ditch.
Yes.
It hit them and somehow ended up in the ditch like a football field's length down the road. Nose down in the ditch.
Tough.
Crazy. Mind you, with a baby in the back seat with not a single scratch on the baby. Not one hair
That's an angel.
was misplaced on that child.
Jesus
I personally
took the wheel.
pulled the child out of the car. He didn't have a scratch on him. Because when I had him, I looked at him up and down just to see, like, you know what I'm
Make
saying?
sure
He was
everything-
completely fine. He wasn't even crying.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Thrill seeker.
But again, though, I got there, this other guy got there, and this other dude got there. We were all there before there was any actual ambulance. It took
How long did it take?
It was like 10 or so minutes or whatever. Because like I said, it was
It's right there.
It's right there.
So imagine, it's definitely taking a half hour.
Oh yeah, if you in the middle.
So
Definitely. If it takes you 15 minutes to get there, you got to remember by the time you get into the accident, you call. They get dispatched.
Mm-hmm.
They get ready, throw on their shit. You're not
Exactly,
seeing them for
because
25
you're not
minutes.
talking about somebody who at the station just waiting. You're talking about somebody who's more than likely at their house.
Yes, it's one of those like, oh no, there's a fire. I need to get to the station.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, because it's all volunteer over there.
All volunteer
it's not
work.
nobody's getting paid for this. That's another thing, which I find. I don't know how that works.
But that just goes to show you how little of the town of Aurora is left. Again, in New Bern, I'm sure they got somebody.
They got a fire department.
Yeah, like in a building, waiting, sleeping there. Something happens, they're gonna come. In Aurora, that's they don't have that.
No.
It's they calling people at the crib. Somebody got the car, or the car is the ambulance is somewhere or whatever. They're gonna drive over there, go get it, and then come to help you or whatever the case may be.
100%.
You know, because my grandmother used to work for the Aurora Rescue Volunteer Joint, and they would somebody else had the ambulance, and they would come pick her up, and then they would go. And again, it'd just be on call. Some shit happened, they call her, she go. You know what I mean?
Not a good.
So I guess
Not a good way to go about it.
I guess the first responders, the first people that's gonna show up is
Immediate area.
Right, is your neighbors.
Yeah. The little immediate area, the surrounding neighbors. But again, granted, there's
anybody there, yeah, because you could be at a spot where it's like
where there's nothing,
nobody and nothing.
Like plenty of stops that I made, like just in my trip going down because I had to take the bus because I missed my flight. There were just places that were just.
Quick round of applause for Rich missing his flight.
I do that, but I make things happen. Round of applause for that. Nothing. All right.
Nothing on that one.
Well, fuck you guys. I'm going home. Get out. Nah, but there was just plenty of times where, like, when we took the ride, or when we were even going back to our Airbnb, or when we went even to Andres' Airbnb, there were like stretches of no houses, just like cornfields, or like when me, you, Val, who else was it?
Oh, Zare?
Zare, yeah. When Zare went to
his grandfather's house.
Grandfather's house. There was nothing there. There was like fish farms, first of all.
Right.
First time I've ever in my life seen a fish farm. All right? It was a fish farm. And then there was just nothing for miles. Like, if you get, and like, God bless. I don't know how it happens. They're probably extremely safe drivers out there. But they're not. They just know how to drive safe at 80 miles an hour
Right.
on a dirt road.
I'm not sure like how often like crashes happen, but the lady who had hit JT and Tale, she had already been in an accident already. So like she's a repeat offender. She is a, unsafe driver to say the least at this point. But again, I don't know how many of those people are like doing that or whatever the case. For one, it's so little traffic. You know what I mean? Like, for you to get into a crash with another car is tough. But, remember when we was driving? I think we were in the car. We were driving. I don't know where the hell we were going. Maybe we was going to my grandmother's house. I'm not sure. But remember that truck that came, like, flying past us, and it was, like, swerving in the street, and it came around the corner?
No, that was us, I think, when we got there.
We were in the car with Zare.
Oh, no, I don't remember that. Oh, wait, yes, I do.
Yeah, I remember it was nighttime, and this truck, bro.
That was it?
Yeah. I think Zay was driving us back to the Airbnb. It was me. I think it was 5 of us. I think it was BJ, Zare, Rich, me, and you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy, you moved in the back. Maybe you didn't see, but this guy came around the corner. It was great. Like Zer, basically, he damn near pulled over
I remember.
and stopped. But he definitely pulled like way over to the side to give the dude space because he coming around the corner at God knows what speed.
We were going this way around that bend. Yeah.
Bro, like why are you driving like that?
Well, he probably is surprised that somebody was on the road, and obviously they were out of towners who were on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we weren't there, guess what? Nobody would have been on that road. I promise you that. He would have been doing his normal thing. You actually threw him off, and we should have apologized. We should have apologized to him. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Nah, but
Sorry, truck
wedding
driver.
vibes were awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Just to retouch on that.
It was definitely like a great experience that I never
100%.
forget.
100%.
Especially after the wedding too. When we all went back to Quay grandma's house.
Yeah, after the wedding was fire.
Yeah. It was a good time. We just kind of chilled.
I'm glad I got to see Tale.
Yeah. My grandmother, she's funny. She's like, she's like, is Keanu and Desiree a couple? I'm like, yeah. She's like, so then why he stay here and then go with her? I'm like, oh, because I'm like, Tale, Rich, and Keanu. I'm like, the last time the three of them were together, they was teenagers. I'm like, so they ain't seen each other and been together in like literally years. I'm like,
Over 10 years.
Yeah, I'm like, they basically just want to maximize the amount of time that they have with each other because, they don't know when they're going to do this again or whatever. So she's like, oh, okay, whatever.
First of all, shout out to your grandma. She was a ball of laughs, to say the least, but such a sweetheart, and I can't say enough good things about her. She was so funny.
She's funny.
You weren't there when she picked us up. Oh, when she picked me up, pardon me, and we all went to breakfast. And she's like, I just have to ask because of the time or whatever. I heard you're married. Is it a she or a shim? I was like, no, my wife was born a girl. And she's like, listen, I ain't got no problem. I just need to know because I don't know. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I can't offend you.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say nothing, crazy. And I'm like, no, you're great. And from that point, it was just we hit it off because I thought that was hilarious. And she's right. You never know. You know what I'm saying? This time, so you don't want to offend anybody. So you kind of just gotta ask. Like. But I thought she was hilarious, and she was like very warm and welcoming, and so was Mr. Big Shot. Mr. Big Shot was awesome. Your whole family.
Yeah, they were like,
they're very, very nice people.
Yeah, they're very chill and like very cool and very like,
laid back,
accepting. Yeah, they're very like all of them are like really
and
chill
laid
for
back,
the most
accepting.
Part. Yeah, so like it's just how it is. I mean, I guess. That's where I get some of my laid backness from. Like they're all just kind of really
I see that.
Chill.
You can see where you get that very reserved, almost stoic kind of.
Yeah, I mean we do have some outliers, and those are usually like people who are like extensions of the family who are a little bit more turned up or whatever. Like JT, like he was an extension from the family or whatever. So he's probably like the most turned person like out of all of us or whatever. However, you can see that like, I mean, if you didn't know him, you probably wouldn't know. But like over time, our like somewhat calmer demeanor has rubbed off on him. Granted, Tale was saying that he was yelling at the dude in the store about bags on their way.
Yeah. OD.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he was saying
yelling
that.
at the guy about the bags in the store, but nevertheless, for him, that's a mild reaction. So.
But yeah, Quay's family definitely accepting because when I first met them, I think it was the first year that me and Quay were dating, and he took me to their house for Thanksgiving.
Took her to Pam's house.
Yeah.
I always take everybody to Pam's house.
Why Pam's house?
she's the only person who like still lives in Brooklyn.
And has her own house.
Has her like own house, a
that
big
makes
enough
sense.
house to
You're
like
talking about
bring
out
people
here?
over.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in North Carolina.
No, I went to North
Because
Carolina.
Pam does have a
I
house
think,
in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does.
I think I went to North Carolina 2 years after that, and for the first time, and that was at the old house. But when I went to Pam's house, I was trying to be proper because first boyfriend, first meeting family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just go off of what I read in books. Like I was a teenage girl, so I went off of what I saw on TV and what I read in books. To be proper, fork, knife. They had fried chicken wings.
You just trying to eat fried chicken with a fork and a knife?
Yeah, and Quay was like, just bite into it. It's okay. He was trying to talk to me in the corner of the table, like, it's all right. He's like, you have to.
I seen her eat chicken wings before, like, bro.
You're like, yo, you making it weird.
Right,
Just eat them normally.
eat it regular, bro.
Like, yo, I seen you do this before. Why are you making it? They looking at her like, she eating chicken
That's
wings
literally what Quay's
with-
grandma looked at me.
Why are you eating that? You know you got fingers for that, right? You know what I mean? Like making dishes.
Was
Quay-
that for Thanksgiving?
It was for Thanksgiving. And Quay's grandma was like, she's like, oh, honey. She's like, that's not how we eat. She's like, that's not how we eat chicken wings in this house.
I'm trying to cut. Like,
So, yeah,
don't do that
definitely.
here.
Definitely accepting. Because they were
Yeah,
accepting of
100%.
me 15 years ago trying to eat chicken wings with a fork and knife.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, one thing I can say, they definitely like love who I love. Like they've always loved Val, and like all my friends, like everyone, like every single person has said something about one of like our friends that we like brought. Like you know what I mean? Like everybody just they liked all you guys. So much. Like I said, even like Dom and Andres and Leo and like again people who not necessarily in the actual party who were just there, all the time. They just really appreciated them. I had so many people tell me like, "Oh man, you picked like the best group of guys to be your groomsmen." Like everyone is just like so many times like, "Oh, everyone is so chill," and this and that. JT was outside lecturing them or whatever about. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Don't betray quick trust. Like he I could tell just how y'all interact. Like he really loved y'all, this and that, whatever. Like, but like everyone was just so cool and accepting. My grandmother loved you. Like I never forget when y'all went to the store. She's like, Rich. I'm like. She's like, where Rich? I'm like, he went to the store. She's like, oh. She was like, so sad that you wasn't there.
We hit it off. I love her.
I'm like, yeah.
I love her so much.
I'm like,
That was so funny when we were the next day after the wedding and we were at her house and she was like, she's like, there was some people out on the porch talking all night and you were like, yeah, I heard them too. Like it was a lot.
I heard
I was not expecting to come and see Keanu in his full.
Oh my God! So
I was not expecting
but we
that
didn't think
at
it through,
all.
bro. We didn't think any of it through because even when Keanu got there, Desiree's like, you need to pack your bag, right? And he's like, oh. She's like, no, I did it. No, I did it for you. But, you needed to pack your bag. And they're like, oh. And they're like, I told her, bro, change. Nah. She already packed my bag. It's over. He left like that. He left in the
I
suit.
know.
Yeah, we came back. Man was in his full wedding suit.
Full suit.
Tie and all.
Facts.
Vest
He had the tie
and
loosened,
all.
but it was still on. He had the vest on.
In all fairness, we had just went to sleep a few hours before that. So for us, it felt like we were still up.
Right.
I need to know what was that arrangement because I know Zaire was in the back room.
Keanu slept on the couch. Talay slept in. Is that the room you stay in?
Yeah.
So we stood in that room. So I had a bed on the floor, and Talay took the bed.
And then BJ was in the other room on the floor.
BJ was in the other room on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. That makes sense.
We wasn't cuddling or nothing.
I'm honestly.
I mean, that's how I figured it would be because again, with Ben being on the floor, that's like a whole extra bed that you don't even need. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Because he's wild for that. Like, even if there's a bed available, he insists that he'll sleep on the floor.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I slept on the floor and my back felt the best it did in days. Also, my back's been on fire.
Right.
Side note. You know what I mean?
One thing out there that was kind of cool, which I had never done. I'd never like smoked weed in North Carolina before. I'm
Wait,
lying.
what?
I did once. I did one time prior to
You
that.
never smoked no marijuana cigarette in North Carolina?
Nah, not out there ever.
Oh, so was I? This is pretty much me. Yeah,
Nah, like I said, I did it one time before. My cousin Ralph, his wife had some shit, and we smoked once.
That don't
but
count.
That was the only time or whatever. I never like did it with like my peoples, my friends, or whatever the case. So,
Yeah,
like,
I was the first real
real
homie.
That was cool to like be out there and to be able to smoke out in the country.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Also, if y'all listen to this on Spotify and you heard me say something about licking in the mouth, that was none of these people here. It was the dog, your dog, that licked me and trying to lick me in the mouth.
She knows no boundaries.
Yeah, so I'm just saying because it sounded weird when you were listening. You hear, oh, lick me in my mouth. Like, wait, what the fuck is going on in that
it's a
studio?
good thing that you added that. You know, 'cause you said people listen
Disclaimer.
on Spotify.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're not gonna. If you don't see the visual and see her attacking me in the face, and you just listening, no weird shit.
But yeah, smoking out there was cool or whatever. But it kind of leads us to our second topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just sure enough does.
And I've been kind of thinking about this for a little bit. But let me ask y'all: do y'all think smoking weed is good for your mental health? Like, obviously, it's not so great for you, you know, physically because you're smoking.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
whatever,
smoking
you shouldn't be smoking
regardless,
anything, right? But like mentally, like, you know, I know we all think it does this for us, it does that for us, but like, do you really think it's that good for you? What do you think about?
I think so. Because, well, I don't know if you're talking, do you mean recreational or both?
No, I mean recreational, not like it was prescribed to you for any
Oh, because I was
reason.
going
I'm
to
just
say
saying,
people with like eating disorders, doctors recommend for them to start smoking so that they can develop appetites and help them like start to feel better
Right.
about themselves. And so that's why I was asking, like, so, but it still plays a part because I never been, so I don't want to say, but like, it can be assumed that like, obviously eating disorders can also come with anxiety and depression, and and definitely weed, I feel like helps with anxiety and definitely depression, because my sister one time, she was working at Walgreens and she said there was this young kid who worked there with her, and she said that he used to come in high all the time. And she said, I didn't know that that's what weed was. She's like, they made it seem like it was way worse when we were in school. And she was like, but he just comes in and he just wants to eat snacks and laugh all day. So it's like, the only problem I feel like with weed is depending on, I guess it would depend on like how deep the issues lie. Because if you're like clinically depressed, you'll get high, but when that high goes away, your reality is still there. And I feel like sometimes people use weed as a mask to hide from whatever they have to deal with in their real life. But then that crash can sometimes be very detrimental to their mental health. So in a way, it's like, what's the phrase? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
But because like everything,
Like too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
yeah, like, you know, like they say, like, as far as like, not to bring it up, but like religion, like sins are like, you know, it's like greed is considered a sin. So it's like too much.
Excess.
Yeah, like I can't remember the exact phrase. It's bothering me that I can't remember. But like too much, like you said, too much of something can sometimes be a bad thing. But also, like for like to like circle back the wedding, we all like we all got high under the stars, and it was awesome. It was like Mimi was there with her sister and Desiree. Like we had our own little circle. Y'all had your own little circle. And the conversations were like, because I can tell you the conversations we had in our circle went from A to left and then back around to Z. So like, you know, and because I also feel like weed in that aspect is good because it gives you like a chill kind of environment.
So perhaps it's like good and like, I guess you're saying like in moderation and also within like the right situation.
Yes.
Now, personally, me, I think when you're depressed or sad or happy or you're experiencing any emotion deeply, marijuana is going to exacerbate that. So in regards to mental health, if you're going to be sad regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if I'm depressed, I'm going to be depressed. It doesn't matter if I smoke weed or not. Is the weed leading to my depression? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Is it a coping mechanism? Maybe. But like me, like yes, I'd be depressed and shit too. But like smoking it's not that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't use it to cope. I just use it because I like smoking weed.
Same.
I like doing everything high. You know what I'm saying? And my high is also not like everybody else's high. You know what I'm saying? People get high and they can't drive a car or they can't do things. Like I get high and like the same things I can do that like when I'm sober, or the same things that I can't do when I'm sober, I can't do when I'm high, and I can do when I'm high. Like nothing changes for me.
It doesn't affect your performance.
It just makes me and it makes the world more digestible for me. It makes the world easier for me to handle, because if not, I'm usually like, even high, I'm an aggressive, loud, angry person sometimes. Like I'm just like, I'm aggressive, I'm passionate, like whatever the case may be. Like I'm just me regardless, you know what I'm saying? The weed doesn't do anything for me. I think it mellows me down where I'm not maybe on edge as much, but like I don't think that it's affecting me truly in a detrimental way, where mentally it's making me like irate or fucking crazy and like, oh my god,
like those vape commercials.
He smokes weed and he's bugging out. Like no, like not at all.
I feel like what both of y'all said is like absolutely correct, where it's like it's not necessarily doing like bad to you in like a way that you can kind of point it out, like oh yeah, you smoke, you're doing X, Y, and Z wrong or badly because you're smoking weed. However, I do think that like sometimes I think that like when you smoke weed, it kind of puts like a wall in front of you of what you should be worrying about, or maybe what you shouldn't be worried about. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what it is you're actually concerned about, you know? Again, not to say that you're smoking weed because you're concerned about anything at all, but I'm saying like we've all probably been in a situation where we were upset about whatever. You smoked a blunt and now you're chilling.
Right.
So now here's the question. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because should you be worried about that? All the weed did was calm you down and make you think, you know what, that wasn't that serious. But maybe it is that serious.
I mean, it could be, but it also depends on, the level of the thing that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Is it like, I'm stressing out because I got into a fight with my partner, or, I smoked a blunt and now I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pull the cord on my mom. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, she's on life support. They're asking me, yeah, fuck it. Before it was a problem. Now I smoke weed and now I'm like, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the level determines on like the action.
But also
you know
I think that smoking in a high stress situation, sometimes I feel like people need it. Because
calms you down.
Right, because unfortunately, not everyone has the capability to think rationally or focus with a whole lot of pressure. So if for the meantime, this blunt is going to help me calm down and I can recollect myself within the next 4 hours.
Take a second to think.
Right. And it's like, so to me, I feel like that's also a benefit of it because...
Less impulsive.
Right. It's like you are less impulsive.
So for me, I feel like I'm already a pretty calm individual for the most part. Very few things will get me to the point where I'm like really, really, really upset. With that being said, when I am really, really upset, I do want to smoke, and I often do smoke. However, I feel like a lot of times after I smoke, and it's like, damn, whatever I was mad about, I'm like cool about it now and this and that or whatever. But then sometimes the next day I'll wake up, or when I'm not high anymore, I'm like, wait a minute, you should have been upset about that. Only reason why you paused on your emotions is because you had smoked. If you had it, you still feel how you feel right now.
Absolutely. However, you having that moment and that time to reflect and not react on, or respond with a reaction instead of with a response, you know what I mean? Now you took that second, you smoked, you chilled out. Those things, they don't go away. They do still bother you, but now you have the moment to articulate that in a proper manner where it's not going to escalate a situation.
Right,
because when you're angry, you're going based off of emotion and impulse, and you may want to say something just to be hurtful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you take that moment, you won't. Maybe.
But also, your question was, does it help? Is it good for our mental health? Me personally, in a situation like that, I think your mental health is at a vulnerable state. So I think to calm down whatever that anxiety is, because at the end of the day, that's what anxiety is something, whether you're angry, sad, whatever, excited for something. Anxiety comes in many forms and colors. And I feel like, back to the question, if we're asking the question is, does weed help mental health? I would say yeah, because if it can help calm down your anxieties for the time being, because we just watched the episode Boys, and the dude literally lost his mind one morning.
Wait, new season?
No,
season two.
But I finished season 2, but I restarted it to watch it with her, so I'm gonna watch season 3.
So the guy goes to spoiler alert, spoiler. So the guy, he's a regular citizen. He hears about the propaganda of the superheroes every single morning, every single day. It's all over social media. He's going about his regular basic duties of life. And one day he thought, at least I think he thought, I'm not even sure if it was even real, he thought he saw the convenience worker with light in their eyes, and he goes in one day with a gun and says, "Are you one of them?" and loses it. Guarantee you, if he smoked probably every day, hearing all that propaganda with the because I mean, The Boys, obviously it's a show, so they over exaggerate everything, and they were showing that it was a lot to deal with. But that's like our realities. Like with social media, you hear bad stuff on the news every day, and so like, sorry, Bailey distracted me. So like, to me, it's like, smoking sometimes, I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's going to stop you from shooting somebody, because if your intention is to kill, your intention is to kill. I'm just saying, just smoking, if it lowers your anxieties, I feel like it's definitely beneficial as far as mental health.
So you see, exactly what you said is the point that I'm kind of trying to make, because you ended with, you're not saying that smoking can, will stop you from shooting someone, but it can. You know what I mean? It definitely can. And that's my point, is smoking hindering your ability to make logical decisions sober? If you can only make not only, but if you're making these decisions that are emotion based, while you're high, whether that be trying to de-escalate a conversation or preventing yourself from doing something crazy like shooting someone, you're robbing yourself of the ability to make decisions sober in a natural state.
Negative.
Because, hold on, because here's the thing. If you say, oh, well, maybe you wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z if you had smoked a blunt, that means you don't have the capability of making these mental decisions when, without some sort of substance, and the more and more frequently that you use weed or any type of substance for that matter as a crutch to help make you make these decisions, you're constantly robbing yourself of making proper decisions.
No, I think what we need to focus on is like we're also talking about in moments of heightened emotion, not regular everyday logical thinking.
Right.
We're talking about moments of extreme emotion, because if we're talking about murder, that emotion is so extreme that like that's something that's uncontrollable. If weed stops you from killing somebody, then you need to smoke it.
Right.
Because like she said, if your intention is to kill, no little bit of weed is gonna stop you from killing this motherfucker.
Of course, motherfuckers smoke weed and go out and murder niggas.
All the time.
Yeah, 100% agree. But again, I think the level of emotion is irrelevant.
But what you're saying, but it is very relevant.
At the end of the day,
I brought
it's still
that
the
up,
same
though.
thing.
No,
You're
it's not,
making a
because like
decision.
if I stub my toe, right, and I'm upset, me smoking that blunt, it's not gonna make me not upset because I stubbed my toe. It's still gonna hurt.
But
You know what I'm saying?
I brought that scene up from The Boys for a reason, though, because I realized I didn't really explain it. Is because I'm saying, like, say that guy is living our lives with all the stuff that we hear about the world. And we smoke sometimes because, let's face it, our world right now is pretty crazy. Like, in every sense of the word. Like,
Facts.
so I'm saying, like, that guy in The Boys, he wasn't smoking weed. Whereas, like, people like us, like, seeing, like, for example, me personally, I don't pay attention to no news outlets on social media, period. I go on social media for giggles because to me, it's like if I'm not going to stress myself out and affect my mental health by listening to opinions of people on social media. I'm not saying I don't listen to news. I listen to the news. I'm talking about social media news. It's two different things. Yeah. So, like, I'm saying, like, I can see people, even in our world, who will basically listen to that stuff every single day. Listen to the bad news every single day. Every single day people are dying. This, that, and the third. And somehow I feel like people, they use marijuana to kind of block that stuff out because it can get too much.
So we need to drop a marijuana bomb on the world.
Pretty much, because I'm saying, like, because like the guy in The Boys, for example, he wasn't smoking, and each new day, like the way the show portrayed it, each new day you saw the stress and the strain on his face and even on his body, like you saw it, and it's like even with like mental health and everything, like you saw it deteriorating, like as they were portraying it every single day, of him doing the same thing every single day, listening to the same stuff every single day. And I'm saying, like, that's not far-fetched from being our reality, because we hear bad stuff every single day.
Yeah.
But some people, they're like, yeah, I want to smoke because I want to feel good about everything going on around us, because sometimes.
But you see, that's what I'm saying.
It sucks to not be able to do anything.
If you're smoking weed, again, to kind of shield yourself from the stresses of the world, is that actually good for you? Now, again, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, it can be good for you because it's helping you, kind of move on with other things that you're doing in your life to kind of, block those things out or whatever. But again, however, that's giving you a diluted version of what reality is. That's not real. That feeling of what you think the world is after you smoke is not real. That's fiction.
I don't think
that stuff
so.
still exists, regardless of how much weed you smoke, how great you feel. There's still people dying all over the world, going through whatever the case. That it's still happening, and all you're doing is shielding your mind from the actual reality of the world. That's my argument. I feel like sometimes when you smoke, and again, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna smoke as soon as we finish this podcast. However, I'm just saying, I feel like it puts like a veil over your mind of what is actual reality.
I mean, perception is reality.
I don't think so because
Perception is
remember
reality.
Shikari, the runner, the girl, the black girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she got disqualified from one of her races because they found THC levels in her system for one of the race.
Man, Drake said, "Smoke 'em like Shakira off and on the track." Bars.
And so, come to find out, like days later, obviously, she's in the public eye, so she can't speak right away. She got to, have her peoples tell her what to say, how to say it, because any wrong word can go real left real fast. She found out her body, I think it was her mom had died. She found, or was it like the person who raised, it was something like her mom had passed, or it was someone who was like a mom figure in her life had passed. And she was away on this road trip for the competition. And she basically explained the way I understood how she explained it was, I didn't know what else to do with all those emotions. And I had a race to run like literally the next day. So she smoked.
She wanted to get high.
And I don't think that she smoked as to put a veil over her reality of the fact that she just lost someone extremely important to her. I think it just because me personally, I don't think smoking takes away any of my emotions. It calms me, yes, but at the end of the day, I still feel everything, whether I'm high or sober. Like, I feel everything. So I think it depends on how like I said, with moderation is really important, because I think it depends on how the person uses it. Because like I said, she used it because she said that she didn't know how to control all those emotions that were going on. She was like the number one upcoming track female star, loses someone important to her. I think it was random too. Like, I think it was, the person was young. I don't think it was like they were like old and died. So like, randomly lost this person. You're in the public eye. She smoked, and then she got disqualified. She came back, and now she's still number one. So I don't think she smoked that night to block off her emotions.
She probably just wanted to smoke. Yeah.
I think she smoked because it became too overwhelming.
I mean, I think that that story about her smoking because X, Y, and Z, because of the death of her family, this, that, and the third, that's bullshit. Like Rich said, she smoked the smoke because she smokes.
Because she smoked.
Because she smokes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it necessarily had a direct, like, oh, yeah, she ain't
There's
smoked
no correlation.
3 years, and now all of a sudden, her...
Well, even basketball players smoke in the off season.
Right, but that's my point. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not
But she wasn't smoking at the time because she was working. She had a competition.
Allegedly.
But she had ran before. She won. So nothing ever. But this was
just means she didn't get caught.
This was her second race.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, she just didn't get caught that time. I think it's more likely that she was smoking just to smoke.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Than smoking.
And it's not a big deal. If she
and again,
runs,
it's
God
not.
bless.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But again,
Look
whether
at me,
I feel like
pothead beating you. You should outrun me every time, 10 out of 10 times.
Right, and I think regardless of whether or not she thought it was putting a veil over her or not, I still think it did. Like, I'm not arguing what like people may think it does, or I'm arguing like kind of what actually did it do. If it's helping her with those emotions, then I still feel like it's somewhat of an emotional Band-Aid.
It could be. It
You
could
know?
be.
And I'm not saying it's like the
depending on
most
who you
extreme
are.
thing that like you're like completely different. Your decision making is like completely different sober than when you're not. I'm just saying it's definitely, I just feel like it's definitely like, you know, providing some sort of, however you want to put it, boost, comfort, Band-Aid, veil,
I was gonna say,
whether it's
'cause
up or down, it's still the same thing.
No.
I was gonna bring that up because I'll be honest with you, smoking off of like an emotional status, and then smoking when you're already happy, you're chilling. Like, for example, like the wedding, for example. Even though like I've had moments like that before too, before the wedding, obviously. And like I feel like it's two different outcomes. Like I feel like when you're smoking under the stress of emotions and you're trying to, like, we'll say for Quay, like, you know, what he's saying, like a veil, you know, you want to block off those feelings for the time being because right now you just don't even want to think about it, deal with it, whatever. But I feel like when you smoke under a situation like that, like I said, I feel like I feel all my emotions still. Like I'll still cry and smoke because people think, oh yeah, it just completely turns it off your humanity.
Exactly.
Like, no, it
Yeah.
does not. Like I'll be sitting here high and I'll still be crying over a situation. So it's like
I might feel it more.
right, exactly. And so that's why the whole veil thing is kind of tricky because it depends on your mood, I feel like, all the time.
And the person.
Right. Like I feel like if you normally have, like, I feel like I feel things at an extreme. Like, because I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad. Like it does, there's no in between. Like I'll cry when something really beautiful happens, if I see it on TV or if I see something in real life, you know, I'll tear up and that'll be that. But the reason I bring it up is because, like I said, smoking in a situation like that brings, like, you feel the emotions. At least for me, you feel it. But smoking, when you're like not trying to do that, not trying to like block anything, like things are really good right now, like you're just really happy, that kind of high is like completely different.
But to me,
And I feel like that's amazing because it's like, yeah, because like when you smoke, when you're already chilling and happy, like, you know, that high, it like just enhances the whole environment for you.
But you see, that exactly is my point. What the word you said, that enhances the environment around you. Nothing has changed. Only thing you did was smoke some weed.
Right, like when
ain't nothing more fun. No bigger activity has happened. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
the last
smoking
little
the weed
bit
is the bigger activity. What are you talking about?
Like the last,
that's exactly no.
like
That's
the last joint that we smoked before we left my grandmother's crib.
Oh,
you
man,
know what I'm
that
saying?
shit was
We were kind of bored, just doing whatever, chilling. You know, we was fine or whatever, right? But we smoked, and everything seemed like all of a sudden it was like a party. Nothing happened.
No, yes, everything happened.
Nothing happened,
No,
bro.
see,
Nothing changed.
And this is what changed. What changed was we went from being like to. Alright. So what we about to do then? You know what I'm saying? The whole mood changed.
Right.
Everything changed.
I mean, like Rich said, maybe we just need to drop a weed bomb on
Drop a
on
weed
the
bird
world,
on the planet.
on the whole planet.
Just
you
let
know?
it hit everybody all at once. Boom! Everybody like get the equivalent of like 4 L's. It's just big. Everybody just be like, "Yo, bro, I'm sorry I threw that bomb on you last time."
So
man."
But there are people who get bad highs. Because remember, we know someone who smoked for the first
I mean that happens, but I'm not necessarily referencing like, you know, the bad highs. Just more like, again, in general or whatnot. But
Speaking
like,
of bombs,
speaking of bombs,
let's talk
you know,
about it.
Speaking of bombs, are you guys ready for
World
War III, the apocalypse? Like,
Talk to me.
do we?
Oh, look at Bailey. She looked at you like, what?
Yeah, I be
Lord,
telling to
she
Bailey
was
about
she was
about
like,
the
World
wars
War
and
III?
everything. Yeah, I be explaining them stuff to her, you know. But
Another reference to the boys, that scene when they were in the basement hiding in his aunt's like her
house or whatever.
like
Yeah,
that.
her panic room.
Yeah, her panic room. And then the dog started barking. Me and Quay looked at each other. I'm like, see, we dead. Because that would be Bailey.
Oh, yeah. Bailey will be, she'd be on it. But are you guys, again, not
Are
that
you
it's-
prepared? That's what it is. Are you prepared? Do you have a plan?
Not only are we prepared, right? But do you think we should prepare at this point?
Of course. I think everybody should have some type of survival equipment just in case. I think people should definitely have like some type of gas mask too, because if a nuke goes off, there's gonna be a crazy amount of radiation, like all sorts of chemicals in the air.
Well, a gas mask is not going to protect you
from radiation, but
you just it's not
all sorts of chemicals and stuff.
I mean, but again, if you feel like you need to wear a gas mask after,
and if you wear a suit, it'll protect you from radiation.
If you have a radiation suit, so that might be actually really good to have. Yeah, if you can get a hazmat suit, that can protect you from radiation, that would be.
You need a mask, a suit. You need maybe maybe a knife with a little flint so you can make fire. You probably need like maybe small collapsible like plates and
some sort of water filtration system.
Water filtration system, or like pots and pans that like collapse that you could
but
cook
you think
food in.
Is it time for us to kind of start taking this seriously?
Doomsday prepping?
I feel like since we've been alive, this is probably the closest to World War III that we've ever been to. And, what's scary about World War III is that so many people got nukes now.
Nukes, yeah.
So it's just like
nukes are
people who got nukes start fighting each other. What happens?
People start letting off fucking nukes.
But
pardon me. People start letting off nukes. That's what happens. Nukes start flying. We all done. Cause it's gonna be us. It's gonna be Russia. It's gonna be China. It's gonna be Israel. It's gonna be everybody. Everybody's gonna start letting off nukes.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is just one. I mean, and if World War III means a nuclear war, you don't have a lot of time and opportunity.
I was gonna say the world as we know it.
To make things.
It'll be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you can survive if you're properly prepared, but again,
or
how many people are properly prepared? Like you said, in the middle of nowhere. Okay, but we're in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, we're done.
Biggest city in the entire planet. How many New Yorkers are prepared? Probably none of them.
No, none. No. I'm not gonna say none. There's a lot of people with a lot of money in this city.
Yeah.
But are they prepared?
I'm pretty sure they're more prepared than we think they are. They're more
like if you live in
us.
let's
they
say,
got money. They're prepared.
If you live in the Hamptons, okay, and a nuclear bomb goes off in New York City, you're probably going to be fine for the most part. So far away. But how are you going to continuously get food, water, electricity?
You gotta evacuate.
It all depends also like with the wind or whatever's going. Nuclear winter sets in. You're out on a peninsula, okay, where you can only go.
The bomb might trigger some tsunamis.
Right. I was thinking that.
I mean, I feel like tsunamis is a concern, but the biggest concern is going to be nuclear winter.
Oh no, yeah.
All right, once all
the winter is happening.
Once
all the dust settles
and everything settles, and there's a thick layer of clouds and ash inside the sky, the planet's going to get colder, food is going to get harder to come by. Are you prepared for that? I feel like even the most wealthy people may not necessarily be prepared. If you don't have a plan of action for what's going to happen if, you need a full couple of step plan. You need a plan for if you are informed soon enough that a nuke has been launched, what's your game plan with that? How much time are you giving yourself to get from point A to point B if you're moving in the first place? What's your plan once you've hunkered down? What's your plan once the nukes have gone off? Afterwards, are you going to leave where you're at? Are you going to stay where you're at? How you plan on communicating with people? You can automatically assume that there won't be any cell phone service, or do you have
no cell phone, no Wi-Fi?
Right. Do you know how to use Morse code or you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? I know someone. Well, I worked with them at TD Bank, and they what's them call it? They used to like buy like food that survives like in the
MREs.
yeah, like they bought like they showed me pictures, like they had food, they had like thousands and thousands of cases of water, mad canned food that didn't expire for like 5 years, like like astronaut food, like like
MREs.
yeah, like she had that type of food. She bought a crossbow.
Yeah.
Like she was not, she started when the pandemic hit. She said, y'all all gonna say that I'm crazy. She's like, but watch. She's like, we need to prepare for this. Everyone needs to prepare for
A crossbow, a bow and arrow, like, guns
Yeah.
are good
Also,
and all,
until
but
there's no
like
more
until you
ammo.
ain't got no more bullets. Now what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You can always
throw
make arrows or retrieve them and reuse them if they're not damaged or whatnot. So like a bow and arrow or crossbow, that is a very useful weapon, not just for like, protecting yourself, but also for hunting. If you have to wind up and go hunting, I go back to North Carolina and kill up all them deer. We'll be eating forever.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
what I mean?
Deer. Do they got turkey over there?
Yeah, there's turkeys.
See, deer, turkey. We
There's
straight.
turkeys in Staten Island. We
Yeah.
can go to Staten Island and get some turkeys.
I don't know about those turkeys.
I mean, listen. we gonna eat
You
what-
may not want to eat those.
We gonna eat what we gonna eat.
They
Okay,
probably already got radiation poisoning.
already. But like, I definitely think that like people should start like, even if your preparation is small, something like, oh, okay, you got a basic
Like a bug out bag.
yeah, but like you should have like a survival backpack for each individual within your household.
Yeah.
And then you should have a survival backpack for everyone in your household, and then also you need a plan of action of what you're gonna do in said scenario of a world war breaking out or some sort of nuclear war breaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, it could be a situation where nobody shoots nukes. That would be
But it's just a
optimistic.
war.
You know what I mean? If that was the case.
But if we went to war, we may not use nukes, but
no, but you
we
should
might be
automatically
China or
assume,
Russia after.
You should automatically assume that someone might use nukes and be prepared at a moment's notice
To make evacuation
whatever
plan.
evacuation trip, whatever you're gonna do. You need to be ready for it. Everyone in your household needs to know the plan. Whatever, like if you're meeting up with people from different places, you guys all need to be on the same page, because real quickly the service is gonna be gone, and you're gonna need to find a way to either communicate or assume where your people are going to be. Like I was talking to the guy at my job. I'm like, if a nuclear bomb went off in anywhere in the world right now, I'm clocking out.
Yeah.
He's like, why? I'm like, because I have to go get my wife. I need to get to her before it gets to a point where I gotta find her.
Or I have to walk. What electrical grid goes off? No subway now. Everybody on the bus.
Exactly. I need to
or
go.
like 9/11 when nothing was happening.
Exactly.
Everybody was walking home, walking across on the bridge.
Like,
no.
you know what I mean? Like, I need to be, like, the moment I hear something happens, I'm
you need to be
leaving
home.
before anything else happens here. Like, I need to get my collectives together immediately, and we need to come up with a plan of what we're going to do next. Because, again, if one nuke goes off in the world,
They're
there's
all going
problems
off.
for everywhere. You have no idea what's going to happen next. It could be nothing where everyone's like, all right,
Like,
let's
yo,
chill
whoa,
the fuck
whoa,
out.
whoa, you let a nuke go? What's wrong with you?
Like, no, let's chill. Don't
Or it
nobody
might be
do
like,
nothing.
oh, you let a nuke go?
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody just start pressing the button. You don't know which way it's gonna go. You gotta be prepared for both. And guess what? I'm not waiting for nobody to press no button.
No, not
Okay.
today.
The moment one get pressed, I'm done.
I'm out.
I'm
Well, we probably dead anyway. The only place that we probably surviving is like the Amazon, where there was like no nukes probably heading.
I mean, again, if you go to like a rural area, you know what I mean, they're not nuking. Like again, I tell Val all the time, I'm going straight to my grandmother's house. She got food, she got guns, and ain't nobody over there. So that's where I'm going. That's gonna be the safest place that I can think of. I'm out.
I know the address, so I'll meet you there. I know where I'm going.
Like, bro, I'm out, bro.
The world going to hell. You know where I'm going? Where the stars is good, the guns fire, and my boys is in a place
That's what
where
I'm
there ain't
saying.
nobody
Like,
for miles.
Ain't
you know what
nobody
I'm saying?
over there. I'm gonna go right over there. I'm gonna hunker down, figure out what else is happening.
Shoot a deer.
Exactly. Shoot some animals and eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like we will
We got
figure
enough
this shit
space for a
out.
garden.
Like
Definitely got enough space for a garden.
Exactly.
Chickens.
You could put a whole farm
I'm
down
taking
there
that
if you
dude's
had
chickens
to.
and emos.
Only thing we need to do is
The
build
emo.
a whatchamacallit, build like
like a fence.
Barrier.
a fence or encasing something to protect the inner of our little society that we got there. But you know, I definitely think with the way the world is, it's just so dangerous that anything like this could happen at any day, any moment. Like, you know, we're so close.
That's
to
where
it.
we are in life.
Yeah, that's unfortunately that's where we are, and this could be, you know,
And this is why we smoke.
this could be our great filter. You know, this could be how
we cleanse, how the earth cleanses itself naturally.
Yeah, this could be the reason why we don't see any aliens, because they get to this point where we're at right now.
And they're like, let's see if they make the turn.
Let's see if they learned from the past mistakes.
Nah, they
Or
didn't.
not
They
even
made
that.
the
It's just
turn.
like all the aliens, we don't see them. It's like, where they at? Well, they kill themselves off before they can get to a point where they're visible by any other civilization. Like, you know what I mean? If we all died right now, you know how long it'd take?
So you get back to this?
Not even to get back, but for someone to figure out, like, let's say there was a other civilization there, how long it'd take for them to figure out that we were ever here in the first place. It could be some whole other civilization thinking that they are completely alone because they don't see nobody else. And the reason why they don't see nobody is because we done killed ourselves off before we were able to reach the point where we could be visible to the rest of the universe.
And we've done this 4 times over.
4 times over.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? We probably killed ourselves, got to this point, killed ourselves.
possible.
But yeah, because think about it. We have the Ice Age, the Stone Age.
You know what I'm saying? The Romans.
Well, that wasn't us killing ourselves off, though. Those
That was the
that was
environment.
more like natural, you know,
I'm
process.
talking about like the
of Earth or
Romans, the
whatever.
Egyptians,
But yes, that's
like
how you
great
see it.
civilizations that like they
Yes.
might have almost made it, and
Exactly.
it's like
a
"Nah, I wanna
smaller
kill."
scale of what I'm talking about. So, like, again, imagine if the whole world, you know, this happened to everyone. You know, at some
just
point,
launching
everyone
nukes.
thought the Romans would be the greatest civilization in the history. Now, what?
Yeah.
Don't nobody talk about no Romans now. It's not even like a thing. And that could easily be the fate of the human race, where we just destroy
They're just
ourselves
Halloween costumes now.
to the point. Exactly. Unfortunately,
No,
you know, and movies.
the movies, yeah.
So, like, you know, we could be at this. This is like a huge turning point within human society, where we have to make a decision about how much longer we plan on lasting here. Because guess what? We don't have no place else to go. So once them nukes start flying, all right, as cool as Mars might sound, it's not that simple. For one, it's far as fuck. There's only a certain time a year where you can actually get to Mars in a reasonable amount of time. That's not year round.
You got to terraform the planet.
I mean, maybe not necessarily. You could
Yeah, you
probably
probably put
figure
the
out a way
domes and
to,
shit,
you know what I
but-
mean? Yeah, but
Don't you want like breathable air outside?
at some point. But again, if
Hey,
your
that's
whole
cool.
planet is torched and you got nowhere else to go, you're gonna take what you could get at that point. You know what I mean? So like, it's definitely, you know, we gotta get, again, I'm gonna make a plan. I got my plan together.
We got to get a plan together.
We gotta get
This
our
is why I got
back.
This is
married,
where we're
'cause I
going.
don't need to think about it.
Oh no, you need to think about this because what if you're at work?
Oh, no, I just need to know.
She just
where-
needs to know the
where-
plan.
you need to know the
she
plan.
needs
No,
to know
I'm
the
saying
plan.
he comes up with
Yeah,
all.
I'm
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the
But I'm
plan.
saying, but you definitely need to know it because if you're at work,
Oh, I know the
you
plan.
could be doing laundry, you could be at the grocery store, nukes
Quay?
go off,
First off,
house. If Quay's not there in an hour, meet him in North Carolina.
first off, you haven't known Quay as long as I've known Quay, and since I've known Quay, Quay has spoken to me multiple times about escape plans. Like, I'm
necessary.
talking about if some, like, for
Zombies.
example, like, one time I think we randomly were on the train and we were talking about if this train got hijacked right now, how are we getting off? Like, literally had conversations about
Yeah.
planning. So
You always
to
gotta
me,
be
I'm
ready.
ready. I already know the plan. I
She's gonna
already
go out with her friends. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm scared to go out without you or whatever." I'm like, "It's fine. Just do what I do." I said, "Make sure you look both ways when you're crossing the street." I said, "When you walk into a business, you need to know where the exits are."
Yep, exits.
That's
Know where
literally
every
what he.
exit
That's
is.
literally what he said to me, and I said to him, "What did I say to you?" I said, "I already do that."
Yeah, I'm like,
That's all you gotta do,
and so
baby.
we went to the Back to the Future play. We sat down or whatever, and I looked, and the exit was right there. I said, "Oh, nice, right next to the exits." I was like, "Some shit go down. I know
Perfect.
On the
exactly
bus.
where to go.
That's where
Because-
I'm
I'm
going.
out of here."
Because of Quay, on the express bus, even on like local buses, I'm literally sitting where the
The handle
emergency exit window is. Cause something happened, I'm jumping off the bus.
That's a fact, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm thinking
I'll
about it.
probably hurt myself real bad, but if I think I'm about to die, I'd rather take my dislocated shoulder
Or a broken bone.
right over death.
100%.
I'll take a broken bone over death. Well, maybe not.
I mean,
the
it's gonna
serenity
hurt,
is
but,
sweet
like,
death, huh? You know?
The only thing that I'd rather not have to experience other than aside of dying is getting pistol whipped. I don't want that. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I don't.
Just like imagine a metal thing just slapped across your face. And to mind you, most of the time when someone pistol whip you, they're talking shit on top of it. So it ain't just like you getting hit with it. They're like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard in my head. The fuck up, bitch. Oh. And you gotta, like, damn, you gotta disrespect me and disrespect me?
Right, like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
you're gonna be
verbal
bleeding,
abuse.
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's OD. But,
You're gonna be physically bleeding and verbally hurting.
Like somebody at my job volunteered me to be like part of the emergency team thing. To this day, I have done nothing for it, but you know, someone recommended me, so it was like my managers. So I don't know. So I just did it because I didn't want to make them look bad.
Yeah.
But I remember one time Quay was telling his grandma that if there's a case of a fire or like an emergency, I have to go to the female bathroom, just check to see if anyone's in there on my floor only. And I just have to make sure that there's nobody in the bathroom, and then I leave. Like that's my duty.
Okay.
And Quay's grandma was like, if there's a fire or an active shooter in that building, you run towards the exit. And then she told Quay, make sure you tell her that she leaves the building. It don't matter.
Get up out of there, you know what I'm saying? She knows.
Sure.
So,
But
trust
yeah.
me, I have been preparing for this probably the last 11 years.
So, I mean, yeah, you got to be prepared. Like, you know, Imposter Syndrome podcast, we out here prepared. Well, we're not prepared yet, but we're going to get prepared.
I mean,
We come somewhat prepared. We're thinking about
We
it.
know where we
the knowledge that we need preparation is preparation
It's
in
preparation.
itself.
Yes, we will get the preparing going. Wait, can we
proper
make that
preparation.
into some sort of T-shirt? We didn't do a T-shirt theme for this.
T-shirt
episode.
theme. Proper preparation program.
Proper preparation program. World War III.
World War III. The proper
preparation. PPP.
the PPP and not the loan. Proper
PPP.
preparation
Well,
program. I love that.
I think this was a.
That was it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think that was it. We're gonna wrap it
Look at
up.
that. My phone died right
So
on cue.
again, the Imposter Syndrome podcast. Be prepared for World War III. If you ain't got your survival book bag and your survival plan for you and your people in your household, or even in, maybe your neighborhood who you would gather up with, you should get one. It may be a over exaggeration, but it's better to be prepared than be unprepared.
Or get yourself some weed and throw that mental block up.
Get yourself some weed.
Go under some stars.
Throw that mental block
nukes
up
are
and
going
just forget
off.
about it.
You got your survival kit? I sure do.
Yes.
The bombs are going off.
I mean, you guys made a movie.
Oh, launch
we
codes.
You know what's crazy? That's exactly what my character did too. So
I don't
you
know
know
if that's on YouTube still or not, but yeah, launch code. Check
One
it
of my
out.
favorite
it's like
movies,
a
I'm
World
not
War
gonna lie.
III. Yeah,
little
that's
short.
a
Wow,
little
that was like
short.
when you were in school too.
Yeah, launch codes. That was fire.
Oh,
yeah, and
Look at that. 360. The world comes back.
So yeah, we here, Imposter Syndrome podcast. We doing the thing.
Yiddy.
Rich Banks,
Yeah, boy.
Quay and Valentina Jones.
Val Jones.
Mrs. Jones.
So yeah, we also got Bailey. Let's not forget.
Oh,
She's-
and
Bailey
Bailey
Jones.
Jones.
Bailey Jones. She's letting us know. in case
Bailey
don't forget me.
Jones. She's like,
Hey,
yo.
Every time I go to the vet, they be like, what's your dog's name? I'd be like, Bailey. Last name? Jones.
Bailey Jones. So,
Bailey Jones.
yeah, this is the Imposter Syndrome podcast. Once again, Rich Banks, Quay Jones,
Val Jones.
Val Jones.
You dig?
We got Bailey Jones.
It's your boy Rich Banks and the Joneses. You heard?
Rich Banks and the Joneses.
Joneses. That would be
Nice.
We out.
So yeah, this is the wedding edition. Yeah, we often. Oh wait, hold on. Always forget this at the end. I'll be forgetting. Y'all better follow us. Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube, share it on
Share.
Spotify, Apple Music. Oh no, it's not called Apple Music. It's Apple Podcasts.
Spotify.
All of that. You know what I'm saying? Share
Everywhere.
it with your friends.
Share.
Watch it on YouTube. If you ain't
Share.
gonna watch it, at least just like it. Subscribe to the
Share.
YouTube channel. Just on Quay Jones. And
You dig?
yeah, we out.